Have you ever gone hiking? Is it something that you would like to do? If hiking is in your plans, I have some recommendations that can be good for you that you need to keep in mind. 1. It's important to check the weather forecast. If you learn in advance about the weather conditions, you will be prepared for good weather or for bad weather. 2. It is necessary to have a first aid kit. If you have an accident, you will have medical supplies that might save your life. 3. Don't forget to carry a map with you. Or better, go hiking with someone who knows the area. The first time I went hiking, I didn't take a map and I went on my own. I got completely lost. If I had taken a map with me, I would have known where I was going and I wouldn't have gotten lost. Hello guys, and welcome to a new unit of our English class. Today we're going to talk about conditional sentences. What are the objectives of the class? What are you going to learn today? You're going to learn to identify and use conditional sentences correctly. There are 4 types of conditional sentences: 0, first, second, and third. I'm going to give you some examples of each type of conditional sentence, and the idea is that you learn the differences and you can use them correctly. Welcome. But before we start, I want you to remember something important. What is a clause? Do you remember what a clause is? A clause is a piece of a sentence, and clauses contain subject, verb, and complement. Why is important to remember clauses? Because conditional sentences contain or have 2 clauses. The first clause of a conditional sentence is the condition. The condition is the part of the sentence that starts with if and the result. All conditional sentences have a condition with if and a result. And you can swap them. That means that you can use the condition first and the result at the end, or you can use the result first and the condition at the end. Let's talk about the 4 types of conditional sentences. The 0 conditional is the conditional sentence we use for real or true situations in the present. We use it for general facts and routines. We use present simple in the condition and we use present simple in the result. One example: if you add 2 and 2, you get 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. This is always true. That's why you use the 0 conditional. Because this is always true, we say that the 0 conditional is a real conditional. And the first conditional, the second one here, is the conditional we use for possible or likely events or activities in the future. We use present simple in the condition, and we use will and infinitive in the result. One example: if it rains tomorrow, the traffic will be horrible. Is it possible that it rains, for example, in Bogota tomorrow? Yes, it is possible. So we know that if it rains in Bogota, the traffic is not going to be nice. The traffic is going to be horrible. So because this is the conditional we use for likely or possible activities in the future, we say that the first conditional is also real. So the 0 conditional is real because we use it to talk about general facts and routines, and we say that the first conditional is real because we use it to talk about possible or likely activities in the future. Now let's see the second conditional and the third conditional. The second conditional is the conditional we use to describe or to talk about unlikely or impossible events in the future. We use the condition in simple past and past simple, and the result we use would and infinitive. Let's see one example. If I won the lottery, I would buy an original Picasso. Is it possible or is it likely that you win the lottery? No. It's very difficult to win the lottery. The chance of winning the lottery is very, very small. So I say that if I won the lottery, I would buy an original Picasso. But we know that winning the lottery is almost impossible. That's why we say that the second conditional is unreal. But this is for situations in the future. We're talking about unlikely or impossible situations in the future. What is the difference between the second conditional and the third conditional? Well, the second conditional is for the future, but we use the third conditional to describe untrue or unreal activities in the past. We can talk about the past, but we cannot change the past. So we use the third conditional. We use the past perfect in the condition, and we use would, have, and the past participle in the result. Let's see one example. If I had studied architecture, I would have designed my own home. But did I study architecture? No, I didn't. So I can't design my own home. We are giving a possibility to a situation in the past. We are describing an untrue activity in the past. So we say that the third conditional is unreal. Remember, zero conditional and first conditional are real, but the second conditional and the third conditional are unreal. Let's see some examples of each type of conditional sentence. The zero conditional is used to describe true ideas and general facts in the present, or actions that are generally true. If you touch fire, you get burned. This is true, this is real. People die if they don't eat. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen, and if babies are hungry, they cry. These are actions in the present that we know are true. That is why we use the zero conditional. The first conditional, even though we can't know what will happen in the future, the first conditional describes activities that are possible or likely. Let's see some examples. If it rains tomorrow, Sam won't go to the park. Is it possible or is it likely that it rains tomorrow? Yes. In Bogota, for example, it's very likely that it rains. So if it rains, Sam won't go to the park tomorrow. If I study, I'll get a good grade in the exam, in the next exam. Is it possible or is it likely that I study? Yes. So if I study, I will possibly get a good grade. Dennis will be late if the train is delayed. Is it possible that, or is it likely that trains are delayed? Yes, it's a possibility. So if the train is delayed, Dennis will be late. If I see John tonight, I will talk to him. Is it possible that I see John tonight? Yes, maybe we'll run on each other on the street. Maybe we'll see each other at a party. So if I see him, I will talk to him. These are situations that are possible or likely, and that is the use of the first conditional. The second conditional, we use it to describe or to talk about activities in the future that are probably not going to be true. Maybe I'm dreaming or maybe I'm fantasizing. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. Is it possible or is it likely that I win the lottery? No. But if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. The chance of winning the lottery is very small. It's unlikely. So, because the condition is unlikely, the result is unlikely, and we use the second conditional. If I met the Queen of England, I would say hello. Is it likely or is it possible that you meet the Queen of England? No, it's very difficult to meet the Queen. You have to do something very, very important for you to meet the Queen. But if you met the Queen, you would say hello. Lily would travel around the world if she were rich. The problem is that Lily is not rich. It's an unlikely condition because she's poor, or maybe she doesn't have any money, but she's not poor. But we know that she is not rich. But if she were rich, she would travel around the world. We also use the second conditional to talk about activities in the present which are unlikely or impossible. For example, if I had his number, I would call him. But I don't have his number, so I will not call him. But if I had it, I would call him. If I were you, I wouldn't buy that car. Am I you? Is it possible for me to be you and make decisions for you? No, it's not possible. But if I had the possibility of turning into you, I wouldn't make the decisions that you are going to do. I want you to pay special attention to these two sentences. Lily would travel around the world if she were rich, and if I were you, I wouldn't buy that car. What do those two sentences have in common? These two sentences have in common the fact that in the condition they have verb to be. What happens when we have verb to be in the condition in conditional sentences? We use where. In conditional sentences, in the second conditional, when the condition includes verb to be, we always use where. Remember, second conditional, when the condition has verb to be, we use where. Now let's see some examples of the third conditional. We use the third conditional to talk about untrue or unreal activities in the past that are contrary to the facts. So, something happened in the past, that was a fact, something that was real in the past, and we're going to use the third conditional to make or to talk about untrue or unreal activities. It's called the conditional of regrets because we're going to talk about things that didn't happen in the past. Let me show you some examples. If you had spoken to me about your problem, I would have helped you. But did you speak to me about the problem? No, you didn't speak to me about the problem, so I didn't help you. If you had spoken to me, I would have helped you. If Sam had paid attention in class, he would have known the answer to the questions in the exam. What is the problem? Sam didn't pay attention in class, so when he got to the exam, he didn't know the answers. But if he had paid attention, he would have known the answers. If we had taken a map to our trip, we wouldn't have gotten lost. But what happened in the past? We didn't take a map, so we got lost. But we know or we think that the right thing to do in the past was to take a map. We didn't take the map, we got lost. But if we had taken the map, we wouldn't have gotten lost. We're going to describe an activity or we're going to describe an event that is untrue in the past and that is contrary to the facts. These are the 4 types of conditional sentences. Do you remember which types of conditional sentences are real or unreal? Which types of conditional sentences are related to the present, to the future, or the past? Let me know your comments or questions, and thank you very much. Bye-bye. Hi, friend. I need you. I don't know how to finish my project. If you help me, I will buy you dinner on Friday. Sorry, no, I will not help you. Why not? You're my best friend and I need you right now. I always have your back. If you need something, you can always ask me for whatever you want. That's not true. You didn't help me last week. I asked you to lend me money for a bus ticket. and you did not. If you had helped me, I wouldn't have had to walk home under the rain. I didn't have any extra money that day. I am so sorry about that. Please forgive me. Please help me. What would you do if you were me?